to it.
Sure. And I think Rogue as well. I mean, this is definitely something that we've come to know of them now. We'll see whether there's something they can leverage on and make it into their own vintage for Karen down that line. They have a strong front to back. They have
three of this comp. It sounds like such a powerful
you know,
world.
the globular.
It's got about a minute 30-ish to go.
Might have an angle onto him here.
Might indeed, because Caps has no flash. Permafrost with Larson able to hit and free hit would be good, but Skumon in the way. This turns into a 2v2 where for Skumon, as he's flashed on by Malrung, he still has the damage. Malrung looks too ambitiously and stares death in the eye. Skumon with first blood as Adam made the roam up and gets one for himself. The hero of Rogue on the board. Dragon, so we're going to have an even trade across the board. There's no real gold lead in this game, but what there is a Vet Pantheon versus Larson in a pretty good position. That's what I'll say, because again, this is here, as we already talked about, keeping up with the Talia, and I think this is one of the few lanes we've seen where Talia's not coming out at 15 minutes with the lead.
Especially in Europe.
Oh yeah.
In Europe, I think that Talia has been such a crutch pick when I think of even mid laners which were struggling a little bit. Talia has been a good, comfortable pick for them, where they managed
Taken
to
up by G2's top laner while Rogue are focusing on the Herald for now.
Vision.
Caps is indeed. He gets shuffled back and caught out. Caps dead. Shut down over to Malrang. Teleport going to be burned.
Anyway here, BB gets alone time on turret though. So despite the kill going over towards Rogue, BB's getting a lot of value.
It really is. And again, I mean, this Galio, when you have double AP solo laner, the value is only going to be immense. Rogue are going to get some gold themselves. It's going to be shared, but at the very least, turret goes down, and that equals up the gold somewhat. But remember, G2 are going to be dragon stacking here in this game after the Cloud. 2 more to go versus this Herald to see if Rogue can get any more pressure and open up the map a bit.
I have to say, that last series of play where Caps has given up the defense of this tower, which means that, despite Rogue having some decent vision control, getting those picks earlier, losing bot lane turret once they teleported away from it, losing top lane turret, now that gold goes over to Caps, G2 slowly opening up the map.
I'd look at Serelda's, I'd be confused.
Dude, we already had a bit of an issue with Syzygy back when we had that. Skumon jumped onto. Not starting the fight just yet. Herald summon in mid lane, looking to break open the map. Of course, Rogue no real pressure in this mid lane just yet.
There's no Syzygy with this play, actually. Skumon's caught out, but he buys some time, gets a stun down. The hero's entrance is good, and I was going to say that, but Skumon survived so much longer than I thought. Rogue couldn't get the damage committed, and they're probably just not at the point yet. Larson sped up by the Auroras. LeBron sets up with the quickness, and the all-in is perfectly done. Skumon again just refuses to say die. Broken Blade has to flash out in the end, but he's okay. A Permafrost followed by Rogue's Malrung, but G2 have won the play, and they've won it off the back of singular members.
Wonderful engage there from G2. That's going to stop any kind of gain that happened with that Herald there. In fact, Rogue are going to lose their own mid lane turret. And G2 now have Patrick also just getting the transformation now. More about it. That's a good power spike. Of course, caught up very early in that last play. Rogue quickly taking the dragon down.
Well, Skumon is going to face check this. Going for a 50-50 is like where we start. XQ tries to get in the way, but G2 do not. They leave it as 2 for 2 dragons in the game, as G2 also have the inside track towards mid. Adam trying to get there first, but Rogue are all spotted out. Moving through Tri-Brush on a ward.
Ezreal trying to clear out a bit of that mid wave. G2 do have a lot of tools still to start fights. They can Pantheon ult if they really find someone on vision. You've got the Talia ult as well. When you leave an objective like that as Dragon, you do need to be very careful that you're not leaving someone just out to dry. Because G2 can, if there is just a random ward which you've missed, can absolutely punish you that. Still, G2 in a really good spot now. They have a team which can really punish the open map, as we've highlighted probably to death at this point. Sorry for telling you even more about that.
That's okay.
They also have complete control. Thank you, I appreciate that.
I am the voice.
Potentially a threat by G2. If they can seal off Rogue from going through that Tri-Brush, which they can definitely do with the Talia, that's a bit of a problem for Rogue.
They're all down here and on a ward. They know that it's started and that G2 are committing. Adam's going to be in first, but the face checking needs to be done by Execute and Malrang. Hans Sama is out of the blue, and they're just going to leave Atakan for now. G2 looking to draw in Rogue a little bit closer.
Broken Blade on the flank will be spotted. Oh, here comes Pantheon.
He just rolls on in onto Adam, onto Larson. Who do you want? He finds a mid laner, and with the hero's entrance as well, Broken Blade zones out the whole fight. Execute doesn't get a chance. Shield of Durand, a false turret behind them, but gives no inspiration to Patrick. He drops like a fly as Lebrov is the opposite answer. 2 for 1, bot laners get it hard.
Oh, it's a superhero landing from Skumon, really helped out by the Galio. Splits the team fight wonderfully, and Rogue can't contest this Atakan now. Larson would have to teleport back in, but he hasn't managed to recall in time. Broken Blade holding the door shut. G2, good objective.
I mean, Broken Blade won't die to these two. It'll take a long time. He just punches away. Good zoning from Caps in the meantime as well. Skumon's low, but they don't know that yet. Rogue are unaware, and with Tri-Brush control just lost as well. Skumon, okay, now they spot him out, but the Smite's going to come down, and GA acquired. G2 with another big back play.
Very clean game, and here come the ultimates.
Yeah, Larson, who was once killing, is now going to be thrilling because he's up against a turret with no hope. The full dive comes online, and this is what G2's comp was built for. You say Ed2. I say G2 are still cleaning house.
Clean use of the ultimates. G2 punish Rogue for sending people to too many different parts of the map. Larson had no backup. And of course, they have the Atacant to make sure it's extra super safe as well. Malorang's even trying to split push in the mid lane, because what else can he do? He can maybe head over towards the Baron, but without the Azir, you can't really fight. You're looking for a steal at best.
Broken Blade's getting the zone. Malorang gets nowhere near it. They're level 13. It's a level and a half down, and you just see how hard it is for Jungle to play the game. Shield is ran. It's going to be a one, only one, but for Broken Blade at half HP, he's taken next to no damage. He's bought time. Execute with the depth charge, but Baron now down. Remember, they still have GA for a little bit, and it's going to be used out. One GA down, 200 gold for the cost of Baron. Not bad.
And of course, with the Atacant, it's not even like you lose that Baron buff onto the one member that died there. Of Labrov. A little bit of pressure going to be seated in this mid lane. Maybe Patrick can get the mid lane turret, but it feels like it is a very, very slim silver lining. G2 did basically the textbook move. Take the Baron, goes onto Baron. Take the Atacant, goes onto the Baron easily with the GAs.
Games where Rogue never say die. I'm not going to say that this game is done until G2 run it home, even though G2 are a top 2 team.
Hey, let's see if they can get into 37 minutes again. They do get themselves G2, the extra Chemtech Dragon, the extra heal on Shield Power, and Tenacity. Go nicely for them. Bush bait happening in the spot side now. Larson shows it, ruins it.
He does indeed. Labrov's also coming from a flank, gets a deep ward, and Malorang jumps on him. But again, Rakan means no worries. He's got the Hakuna Matata mentality.
I thought there was Hakuna Matata, not, you know, Labrov, or whatever it is.
Rakan is like the Timon of this, you know, of this conversation.
I thought it was going to be Sejuani meant to be on the other side.
Sejuani is Pumba, for sure. I don't know what Execute is. Wrong game, wrong movie franchise, just doesn't belong there. Dead for a third time in this game, as bot turret is going to open up with that pick as well, and here's a Pantheon ult rolling through. Skewmon going to zone off and make sure Piggy goes nowhere. Pumba needs to start singing now. Skewmon blocking some damage from Patrick is nice, but it's all for the turret. Send him away with Cap's ulti as well as Labrov. A good dodge as well, because the turret was going to kill it.
He did have a very high IQ to understand League of Legends.
League of Legends, you need psychology. You need a psychologist after playing a couple of days of solo queue, trust me. Okay,
Baron is now up and available. Rogue managed to push outside of their base. G2 maybe looking for a chance to pounce. Caps recalling, Dragon being taken would be Soul, and then Taliyah will look to teleport topside.
Well, I mean, Baron's not going down quick enough, so for Rogue, this could be so dangerous. Soul gone, Hansama might not be in, but he's going to be chasing down. Here's everyone jumping in. Pantheon Olden, Baron exposed and stolen! In front of Skewmon, Malorang stands no chance. A spear over the wall as well. Through the heart of Rogue, they run, but how far?
Well, we'll see. Caps doesn't have the wall anymore, but wants to put down that E. Does get hooked onto it.
And here comes the hero's entrance as well. Broken Blade, you're very much a hero here as Larson tried to separate the pack, but G2 are going to chase him down. Caps is looking for yet another as he wants his first kill of the game, rather, and Broken Blade going to chase down the remnants. That is Adam. This game in the too hard basket. And with longer death time as a base, it's going to be tatters, if not destroyed completely.
It has felt so anti-fun for Rogue to play this game.
Yeah.
G2 have had a stranglehold, and they have not allowed Rogue vision, they have not allowed them team fights, they have not even allowed them the few objectives that they've really headed towards. G2, very clean, very dominant.
On to the Nexus turrets. I mean, Malorang's up in a second, Patrick up in 15. They're going to try anyway, and G2 have the soul, so it might help with the low health bars as Adam's ulti did nothing, and Malorang, as he steps up to defend, might be trying to do a little bit more than something as G2 run away. They're not going to take this full 5-on-5 that's soon going to become as True Shot Barrage comes through. 13-14k up. We had the Genji Hummer Life game that was like that as Larson is going to get away, but Cap
I don't know if he is.
Yeah, I mean, there's no chance, is there? He can do it himself. Skewmon tries to get involved, and with a 4 versus 5 now, Skewmon is now against the wall. Rogue might have an angle, but what angle is there? He's buying so much time. There's a hero's entrance. Skewmon is still alive. In goes Broken Blade, and yeah, Skewmon's going to die. They keep it a little bit competitive, but how do you kill Broken Blade as flying in to save the day as Hansama? And we're back to square one. Take a couple of kills to pad the stats. Hansama, he's going to end 4 kills up. Open Nexus, and at 35 minutes, G2 make that slow burn simmer out.
If you're a G2 coach, that is exactly what you want to see. That is text. Not get all in by the Garen, otherwise your game can just end. And if the Garen gets ahead of you, you can just continually trade onto your course. Your counter-strike doesn't work that well versus the bold spin to win. G2 do, however, have pay attention to that.
True. Judgment is starting to build up work as well, as I assume it's first setup as Malrang's flashed on. Twisted Advance already used. Caps gets the Shuriken flip, and rather it's just Fan of Knives setting up the passive as well. Malrang in so much trouble. A Bramble smash and sets up to flip back in. Caps with first blood while LeBron makes sure.
I can't remember which matchup it was. Gravity Field Darius froze Darius midway through ult, which is the stretch frame. So you had a Darius about 3 times as tall as he should have been.
Oh, yeah.
Hilarious. I'm sure there are pictures of it somewhere.
I mean, janky, like, before I think season 7 or 8,
yeah.
A League of Legends, when it had bugs, they were janky.
Kind of sitting back from the wave. While this is happening, what were we saying? If you make a mistake against 6 scrubs, a couple of waves, your tower's gone. Caps gets some great gold up here. He's over 1.5k ahead. What? Very, very fair to Kali, because Rogue make a simple misstep, a slightly bad TP, and G2 very good at punishing.
And that Riftmaker, he hasn't gone back. He must be sitting on a lot of gold that he can heal up before the next wave crashes.
And this is not looking great for either side of the lane now. The Garen is not ahead of this matchup. The counter pick in top lane, which I thought red side draft was going to be very successful for Rogue, or more successful in that first game, hasn't led to much value right now. However, BB might have overstayed.
Maybe he can get the wave. Cannon minion is what I'm looking at here, but Adam might have an opportunity. Free ulti. Okay, it's a bait. Adam now the smart one in the books. He picked up his first kill in the game. Cap's going to be trading with topside turret.
Yeah, the leap strike cancelled out, well played by Execute. However, on the other side, the cross map comes through. 6 scrubs means that two attempts at the tower. Caps will take that one. 425 gold, as if he weren't fed enough already. Has Leandris, didn't go for the Riftmaker.
Yeah, okay.
So it's
even under turret, Execute will tank it up. Shattering strike and another kill. Broken Blade jumps away. Judgment was not available. Let's call it justice, because that's what it would have been if Adam found kill number 2.
Oh, so close. Adam very, very nearly combing up again. Lavrov has the minion taxi.
Yeah, this time, this is going to be an easy kill. Returned over to Execute. Hansama, with Lavrov's help, lands on the CC. Skewmon not going to clear that ward yet, and it is completely dark apart from that one defensive ward. Like, G2, you have a look. Okay, we can't see Dragon. Yes, we've got a ward in front of the pit, but it's a mountain rift. There's obstacles in the way. Herald that Nymera was talking about before going to be used against 6 scrub comp, and they're going to take Dragon. Larson's up there having a tea party with the minions. Mid turret's gone. Dragon's about to drop as well, because no one can step up to Caps unless there's 3 members.
But what is Rogue going to do about this? You have just lost 2 turrets, a Dragon here as well, and what have you gained? A little bit of time.
But against the Ignite Garen, the swap again from G2. Can't say how clean it was enough, as Adam's just trying to defend here, using Strikebreaker as best he can. The range from G2 being used. Maxwell, no, finally, a fight is there, but Chains of Corruption. Execute's going to get wiped. Larson TPs, but not a moment too late. Coming from behind, Broken Blade, the Jacks from downtown, from down away. A flash away from Adam, but the rest of the team are zoned out. It's a sick headbutt as Larson will take the Unbreakable Will, but you got to watch out. Caps in the middle, even though he's low, he'll survive. Oh! He's just that strong, baby. G2 all Sundered Sky, 2 item Jacks. They're going to commit to it, it looks like, at 5k, but if you look at your clock, you'll notice there is no Rogue on it this game, or at least this series. Atakan down, GA's enabled. Dragon's up in 45, another reset for G2 to test the waters again.
Yeah, and now they can
one
use that
gank, that one bait bot, but he's never run away with the game. You look at Larson as well on this Silas, constantly gapped in lane by Caps. As you look at him onto Malrang, we're going to get a 1v2 eventually, but Malrang, will he survive until then? The all-in with the rest of Rogue, as Caps is probably just bored at this point. He runs in, GA popped, and Larson takes the ulti. But my friends, you look at the rest of the map, mid's going to get pushed in, bots under pressure. Also, you only just took a GA. Caps has teleport to rejoin.
And it's against the 6 scrubs. You commit four people top side, and G2 have 6 scrubs in bot lane and in mid lane. The tower is going to completely go down. G2 are happy losing 1 withdrawal, 1 of that GA from the voracious Atakan, and they walk away.
Atakan has been done a while ago. The GA's at least expired. I truly wonder if Larson can win this, but I think the answer's probably no. Double buffs there for Broken Blade. Ulti for ulti. Let's have a go. At least we get to see some action. Larson saw they're getting whittled down, and eventually the Sundered Sky will come back in, give him a bit more leverage. There it is. Larson heals up with the Kingslayer, but Broken Blade only 1v1. Lebrov, go away. No one cares. Lebrov! It doesn't count. Broken Blade got support. The best support steal of a Baron I've ever seen. The ends go out, they slow down, Larson goes in, but Baron's gone. Now for G2, the fight begins finally, a team fight ensues. We haven't had one of those this game, but Rogue are losing it so handily. Hans Simon flashes the back of the pit, and while Larson looks to go in to find a target, he's in the middle of three. Hans is dicing, dancing between while the rest of Rogue have already run away. And to Larson's credit, he does get a kill, but Caps is still healthy enough. On top of him, Shuriken Din. Meanwhile, Broken Blade died to Adam, so props to Rogue.
CMB, as we see a little bit later, potentially goes a little bit too deep onto that one, but we'll just say that one.
Nice one.
Oopsies.
I love it. Justice. Hell yeah. The most satisfying Garrett ult.
It's like same kind of vibe as the dubstep ignite, where you just walk up, press ignite, walk away, it's a kill.
Some Garrett ults like shake the screen. You know, I think that the God and
the God King.
And the Darius one also, I think they shake the screen. You have to turn it off in settings, which is a tilter to find anyway.
There are some of the ones which get pentas, like the Samira one and the Pike ones, they get pentakills because there's no enemies to disrupt their grabs at that point. Then they go absolutely wild. BB pushing up a little bit far to mid lane, but he's free to do so. Of course, Baron buff onto 3 members of G2. They'll be happy to push out most of the map, use those 6 grubs to crush down the last resistance of Rogue.
Prob waiting in a bush though. Adam probably didn't expect that, but the Prob just disengages and zones off because you look at top, they're going to go for the turret. There we go. Demar's Injustice again. All right, G2. Maybe not as safe as you thought in this game. Broken Blade at half HP. Rogue get another.
Forgets that Alistair ultimate doesn't stop true damage in this engage coming through.
Yeah, but there's a Chains of Corruption and Executes in harm's way. Skewmon taking enough, and now that Nature's Grasp is out with a good Bramble Smash, he disengages but over the wall. Malrang follows up until Broken Blade runs in himself. There's no more justice available as Execute is a free target. Patrick now pounced on as well. The Zonya's coming in handy as Broken Blade meets with Larson. He's rejoined in with the Scott Duck mid-air. Broken Blade still wants to take it, but he'll die too. G2 are playing with it while Caps is thinking about his entrance.
That's not a joke anymore.
Yeah, we stop laughing, we start getting concerned, but at least in a turret and top of G2 brings us to the peak of reality, which is that G2 are now going to move to 8K. They've never really let go of that gold lead. In fact, it's still growing.
G2, of course, starting the Baron. It's being forced by G2.
G2 are doing this pretty fast. Broken Blade zoning one side, Caps the other. Skewmon ready to turn. Nature's Grasp is sent out, and Adam not going to be caught by it, but you see G2 forget the Baron looking for the fight. Broken Blade jumps in, and Larson will steal the Unbreakable Will, but a good Shattering Strike set up with the Magnet Storm from Rel. Hunt Summer engaged on the backline by Larson, but Execute's already dead before they can help out, and once again the Compass 3. Larson, it worked last time, but they're stronger now. A double meanwhile by Caps and Broken Blade chasing down the final pieces of Rogue. Adam taking enough to deal with Broken Blade, I say that, but over the wall and over again. Adam is running, but he's got no friends. Under this turret, this will be his last call, and Broken Blade, he's going to take care of it all. 16-5 in the end, he might run forever, but G2 with a 2-0 is what you can take away from this perfect ending series.
A little bit long on the time, but never really in question. Rogue were out macroed, and G2, their coaches will be very happy with how clean the closeouts were.
Yes, they will indeed. G2 still on top, still looking good. Here in the LEC spring, 3-0. Not dropping a single game at the start of this all.
Never really in question, was it? Maybe a little bit slow in some moments.